Hey there. Tonight, we're going somewhere familiar. Not to the grand palaces or epic battles, but to a dirt path that leads to a village so small it doesn't have a name. Or if it does, no one remembers it. You won't find it on any map. In fact, you wouldn't find the map here, in this soft crease of land hidden by thick forests and quiet hills. Maps are myths. Stories are currency. This is the edge of history. The part with no titles. No legacies. Just long days. Short nights. And a stew that never quite finishes. Tonight, we're talking about the medieval peasant. The one history often forgets. The one who didn't ride into battle or carve their name into stone. But the one who kept the fires burning, the fields growing, and the world turning. Slowly, quietly, relentlessly. You probably wouldn't last a day here. Not with the cold, the hunger, the silence that soaks into your bones. But that's all right. You're just visiting. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is right now. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You wake with a sore neck and one sock missing. The fire is out. The ashes are cold. You pull your cloak tighter and sit up slowly. The room smells of smoke and damp wool. You poke the embers. Nothing. You sigh. Grub kindling. And start again. The flame catches on the third try. Your fingers are stiff. You can see your breath. Outside. The sky is pale. The sun hasn't climbed above the hills. But the roosters are already loud. You pull on your boots. The left one is damp. You don't ask why. Breakfast is a chunk of bread. Not warm. Not fresh. Not even whole. Just crust and a smear of something. You think it might be butter. You chew slowly. Footsteps pass outside. Mud sucks at boots. A cart creaks. Someone coughs. A goat complains. Morning has begun. You step into the cold. A dog trails you briefly, then wanders off. The sky is clear. You see your breath. The fence still isn't fixed. The wheelbarrow is stuck by the well. Tom struggles with a sack of grain. You help. He grunts a thank you without meeting your eyes. That's normal here. By midday, you're in the fields, lifting stones, chasing hens. Your feet are cold. No matter how much you move. Word spreads, the steward comes tomorrow. No one talks about it. You eat where you stand. Barley bread and something sharp. Cheese. Maybe. The sun rolls west. Shadows stretch long. Your back aches like it remembers last winter. The chapel bell is silent. Has been for days. Someone's fixing a fishing net. Even though the river's frozen. Hope is a kind of madness. But useful. Historians still argue whether peasants believed in luck or just expected suffering. You're not sure there's a difference. Home smells better tonight. Someone found onions. The stew still tastes the same. But it tries. You sit by the hearth. Remove your boots. Rub your feet. Talk a little. Someone mentions the May snowstorm from years ago. There's a soft laugh. Sleep comes in shifts. You wake in the dark. Someone else is breathing beside you. Straw pokes through the blanket. You wonder what version of today tomorrow will bring. Then, you close your eyes. And drift. Until the chickens start complaining. You wake up to the same sore neck. The fire is out. Ashes gray and cold. You pull your cloak tighter and sit up. The room smells of smoke. Wet wool. And something faintly sour. You poke at the embers. But they don't stir. With a sigh. You gather kindling and try again. The third spark takes. Your finger sting. stiff from the cold. Your breath clouds the air. It's barely dawn. The sky is pale. The hills still hold back the sun. But the roosters are already bickering like old men. You pull on your boots. The left one is still damp. You don't bother asking why. Breakfast is a hard crust of bread, with something spread on it that might be butter. Might not be. You chew slowly, listening. Footsteps squish through mud outside. Akart kriaks. Ekot blitz. Someone coughs twice. The village is waking. You step outside. The air bites. A dog follows for a few paces. Then, loses interest. The fence you didn't finish still leans. The wheelbarrow is stuck by the well. Same as yesterday. Across the yard, Tom is wrestling a sack of grain into a stubborn shed. You lend a hand. He grunts a thank you without eye contact. That's just how it is. Midday creeps in. You work the fields. Pull stones from paths. Chase chickens out of corners. They don't belong. Your feet stay cold. No matter what you do. Someone says the steward is coming tomorrow. Everyone hears. No one comments. You eat lunch standing. Barley bread. Something sharp that might be cheese. You don't question it. The sun drifts west. Shadows stretch. Your back starts to complain. You pass the chapel silent. Untouched. The bell hasn't rung in days. Someone patches a net near the river. Even though the water is mostly ice, hope still lingers here. Just enough to try. Historians still argue whether peasants believed in fate, or just endured it. You're not sure there's a difference. You return home before full dark. The cottage smells slightly better. Someone added onions to the stew. It doesn't fix it, but it helps. You sit near the hearth. Boots off. Feet rubbed. A little talk passes between you and the others. Someone tells a story about snow in May. People chuckle. Low and tired. Sleep comes in shifts. You wake in darkness. Hear someone breathing nearby. Feel straw poking through the blanket. You think about tomorrow. What version of today it will be. Then, you close your eyes and drift until the chickens start complaining. You wake to hooves. Not galloping. Just that slow, deliberate rhythm of someone arriving with purpose. You sit up. Pull on your cloak. And step outside. The steward is here. And with him comes that quiet pressure. The kind that makes you stand straighter without thinking. He rides a brown horse that looks better fed than any of you. Beside him, a young man holds a ledger. His hands are clean. His face unreadable. You've never seen either of them before. But they know exactly why they're here. The villagers gather. No words. Just glances and nods. The steward dismounts. He doesn't greet. Sauve. Cottages. Fences. The signs of winter's toll. Then he begins. Names are called. Items tallied. Chickens. Eggs. Grain. Wool. Your turn comes. You answer. Carefully. Not too much detail. The scribe writes in quick, sharp strokes. No one likes details. Tom forgets something. He's corrected. No one laughs. The steward's gaze feels like an inventory check. Not a human glance. The whole visit takes over an hour. When it's done, they mount up again. He says he'll return in a month. Maybe sooner. Maybe not. Depends on the weather. Depends on what he needs. They ride off. Everyone exhales at once. It's not relief. It's habit. You go back to your tasks. But your hands feel heavier now. Like someone still watching. Lunch is barley again. Thin and dry. You think about the steward's horse. The way its coat gleamed. You shake off the thought. Afternoon crawls past. More carrying. More scraping. More turning earth. Everything dull. But necessary. A boy is caught stealing from the mill. Maybe 10 years old. The miller threatens to tell the steward. No one believes him. But no one defends the boy either. He disappears for a while. Comes back by dusk. No one says a word. Historians still argue whether fear or apathy kept things running. You think they're both right. You see a hawk overhead. It circles once. Then again. Then vanishes. That's the most unexpected part of your day. Evening settles. You mend a torn sleeve. Try to ignore the wind sneaking through the thatch. The stew is thin tonight. But hot. Someone hums an old tune. You recognize it. You fall asleep to the sound. Not because it's comforting. But because someone else is still awake. You don't remember your dream. Only that it wasn't good. You wake with your jaw clenched and the blanket twisted. The hearth glows low. Just enough to see your breath. Someone's already outside. You hear a cough. Then boots in the mud. The village is awake. Today. It's your turn at the woodpile. You gather your cloak. Your hat. Your axe. Step out into air that feels like stone. You pass Marta hauling water. She nods. No words. The kind of nod that says, I see you. We're both still here. The wood is damp. The logs heavy. You split a few. Stack them beside the door. Then more. It doesn't feel like progress. Just repetition. Still. The pile grows. Your shoulders burn. That's good. Means you're not frozen. A neighbor's cart tips over in the rutted road. 2 men rush to help. You join them. The sack of grain inside burst open. It's saved anyway. Nothing gets wasted. By midday. You've mended a fence. Restacked the firewood. And found a half-rotted turnip under the frost. It goes in the stew. Children chase each other between cottages. Laughing. Screaming. Someone yells. No one stops them. You smile. Just slightly. It disappears fast. Like breath in cold air. There's talk now about spring. Too early. But it sneaks into conversation. Maybe if the snow stays gone. Maybe if the fields dry. Be maybes. But maybes are better than nothing. The chapel door hangs open. You step inside. Not for faith. Just for the quiet. A candle's been lit. No one claims it. That's how most prayers work around here. Left unsaid. Historians still argue whether medieval faith was deeply felt or simply practiced by habit. You think both can be true. Evening brings stew and silence. There's a cracked bowl on the table. No one mentions it. You scrape it clean anyway. Later. You sit by the fire. Your back to the wall. Your feet near the hearth. Someone hums that same tune from yesterday. You close your eyes. You don't dream this time. You wake with light already in the room. Bale gold. Stretching across the floor like it's trying to warm the stone. Someone's humming again. The tune is different this time. Slower. Sadder. You pull on your boots. They're finally dry. That feels like a victory. Breakfast is thin today. Broth. Mostly. But it's warm. And that's enough. Outside. The village feels softer. Like it exhaled. There's mud underfoot. The good kind. The kind that means thaw. The kind that clings to boots and drips off wagons. The air smells different. Damp earth. Vet bark. Something green just under the surface. You see Marta pruning a bush near her door. One branch. Then another. She moves slow. Deliberate. Tom's fixing the gate again. This time, it might hold. You join him. Not because he asked. But because that's how things get done here. Together. And without comment, a group of children race down the path with sticks and shouts. They're knights today. Or bandits. Or both. No one stops them. Someone laughs. You carry water from the well. It's less of a struggle now. The ice is gone. Just ripples and cold. You stop to watch the reflection move. Lunch is split with a neighbor. She has apples. You have bread. It's not a trade. Just a quiet agreement. In the afternoon, a stranger passes through. Not a merchant. Not a steward. Just someone walking. He nods at you. You nod back. That's enough. Historians still argue whether medieval villagers feared outsiders or welcomed them with stories. You think both were true. Depending on the day. Evening settles in with a pink sky. The clouds drift slowly. You sit outside for a while, letting the cool air rest on your face. You don't say anything. No one does. Later. The stew is the same. But the company feels lighter. Someone tells a joke. You laugh. Really laugh. It feels strange. But good. That night, you fall asleep before the fire dims. You dream of nothing. Just quiet. You wake with something rare. Quiet. No roosters yet. No boots on mud. Just the gentle creak of wood as the wind shifts. The air smells faintly of wet grass. You open the door and stand for a moment. Everything is still gray. But soft. You stretch slowly. The aches are there. But not angry. You start the fire. The kindling catches quickly today. That feels like a gift. Breakfast is yesterday's bread. A bit of broth warmed in the pot. You savor it. You decide to walk the long field. Just to see. The mud is drier than expected. The grass trying to push through. A bird lands nearby. Pecking at something you can't see. Tom's out early. Repairing a fence post that never stays straight. You wave. He nods. That's enough. Children are gathering around Marta's cottage. She's telling a story. Something about a fox and a bucket of turnips. You only hear pieces. But it makes them giggle. A visitor appears by midday. A friar this time. Not one of yours. He carries a small pack and a wide grin. He asks for water. He gets stow. He speaks Latin. Then English. Then something no one quite recognizes. But he's kind. So you listen. Historians still argue whether itinerant friars spread faith or gossip. You think they did both. Depending on who fed them. He shares news of another village. Of warmadays. Of merchants passing through with ribbons and pears. It sounds like another world. Evening comes with shared bread and a half-sung prayer. The friar leaves at dusk. Thanking no one and everyone, you sit by the fire. Let the stories hang in the air. Then, like smoke, they fade. You sleep deep. You wake with purpose. Today is market day. Not here. Of course. But in the next village over. It means boots on early. A sack of dried beans over one shoulder. Wool in the other. You're not going to buy much. But you hope to trade. The path is muddy. But the air is fresh. Birds follow your steps. The trees lean in like they're listening. You meet others along the way. Tom. Marta. 3 boys, with dreams of finding sweets. It feels almost like a procession. The market is simple. Blankets spread on grass. Baskets of apples. Piles of cloth. One man selling fish that still smell like river. You trade beans for salt. Wool for soap. And just a glance earns you a story from an old woman who claims to remember the last comet. Someone is singing. Loud and off-key. But it works. You hum along. Children chase a wooden hoop down the hill. A dog joins in. Then 3 more. You see someone selling painted charms. Useless. But pretty. You don't bouillon. But you touch them. Lunch is bread with honey. A splurge. A joy. You let the sweetness linger. Historians still argue whether peasant markets were economic lifelines or just excuses to gossip. You think they were both. The walk back is quieter. The boys have fallen behind. The sun leans low. You return home with less than you brought. But somehow, it feels like more. You sit by the fire. Let the heat touch your face. Then close your eyes. Tomorrow can wait. You wake with a start. Not from sound. From silence. A strange hush presses against the walls. Heavy and expectant. Outside. Fog hugs the ground. Thick. White. Blinding. You step out slowly. The world feels smaller. Softer. Voices sound different in fog. Muffled. Distant. You hear someone call. Then a laugh. Then nothing. You carry water. Feet hints. Their feathers are wet. But they don't mind. The dog stays close today. Even he senses something strange. By midday, the fog thins. Shape is emerging. People move slower. More carefully. The chapel bell rings for the first time in days. No one reacts. But everyone hears it. Tom says he saw something in the fog. A figure. Just standing. Watching. You nod. But don't ask. That's not unusual. You help fix a roof tile that slipped during the frost. The ladder wobbles. Your hands shake. But you hold. Lunch is stew again. Saltier than usual. You pretend not to notice. Someone else does the same. Marta tells a story about a fog that never lifted. How it swallowed a village whole. No one laughs. It's not a funny story. Historians still argue whether such tales were metaphor or memory. You think they were both. Evening falls with the fog still clinging. You sit closer to the fire tonight. Just in case. Sleep takes longer. The silence is too loud. You dream of white. Endless white. The fog is gone. Replaced by wind. Sharp and playful. It pushes at doors. Lifts skirts. Curious voices far. You wake to its whisper through the eaves. The fire is warm. That's a win. Outside. The wind has scattered everything. Leaves. Twigs. A bucket. You chase it. Retrieve what you can. Some things are gone for good. You spend the morning reinforcing the fence. Again. This time with thicker rope. And hope. Tom's shed lost part of its roof. He doesn't curse. Just starts fixing. You hand him nails without speaking. Lunch is quiet. Wind howls through the cracks. Someone tries to sing. The wind steals it. Uppedler arrives. Laughing at the chaos. He offers ribbons. You offer eggs. A fair trade. He tells of storms farther west. Of trees downed and roads gone. You listen. Historians still argue whether weather was feared or revered. You think it demanded both. The wind dies down by dusk. You feel its absence like a pressure lifting. The fire crackles louder now. You sleep easily tonight. The wind took the noise with it. Left only calm. Rain wakes you. Softe first. Then insistent. The roof holds. Mostly. You wrap your cloak tighter. Patch the worst leaks with rags. Some water finds its way in anyway. The village is quieter in the rain. Movements are slower. Words are fewer. You carry water through mud. Slip once. Laugh alone. That helps. Tom's son loses a boot in the muck. He laughs too. It's the best sound of the day. Lunch is warm. A thick stew. Shared with two neighbors. You eat in silence. But it's a good silence. Rain turns the path to the chapel into a stream. You wait it anyway. Light a candle. For no reason in particular. Marta says rain is a blessing. You agree. Even if your socks disagree. Historians still argue whether medieval peasants welcomed rain or cursed it. You think it depended on the roof. The rain fades by dusk. The fire is hard to start. But satisfying when it catches. You fall asleep with the sound of water dripping. It feels like company. The air smells different. Clean. Sharp. The kind of air that makes you breathe deeper without knowing why. You wake slowly. Let the morning stretch around you. No rush. No noisy. Breakfast is shared with Marta. Bread and dried berries. She tells a story about a bear she swears she saw as a girl. You pretend to doubt her. She pretends not to notice. The path to the fields is firm today. Dry. Easy to walk. You carry tools. Use them well. You fix a fence. Then help dig a trench. No one thanks you. That's fine. Lunch is fresh. A little fish. A few herbs. It feels like a feast. Tom shows you a trick with rope. You thank him. He shrugs. The sky stays clear all afternoon. You look up often. Just because you can. Historians still argue whether peasants found joy in small things. You think that's the only place they found it. Evening comes with laughter. Real and full. Someone tells a joke about a goat. It's terrible. Everyone laughs anyway. You sleep light. Happy. Surprised. You wake to shouting. Not angry. Just urgent. A pig has escaped. Again. It's Marta's. It's fast. You join the chase. Around cottages. Through mud. Over fences. The pig wins. Tom finally catches it. He's covered in muck. He looks proud. No one says anything. We're all too out of breath. You spend the morning cleaning. Yourself. The tools. The pig. The rest of the day passes quietly. Like the morning used all the noise. Lunch is plain. But good. You're hungrier than usual. You repair a broken hinge. Teach a child how to twist twine. He listens. For once. Evening blinks again. Not as thick. Just enough to blur edges. You sit close to the fire. Let your thoughts wander. Historians still argue whether peasants had space for thoughts. You know they did. Even if they never wrote them down. Sleep comes slow. Full of unfinished stories. You wake to frost. Sharp on the windows. Bright on the ground. It's not winter again. Just a reminder. A whisper. You bundle tight. The cold is honest. It doesn't pretend. Your breath clouds the air. Boots crunch on grass. Chickens mutter. Tom's chopping wood. You help. The rhythm is good. Clean. Simple. Marta makes tea. Thin. But hot. She shares. You fix a tool handle. It fits better than before. That feels like magic. Lunch is hot. And enough. You're grateful. Someone tells a story about frost fairies. You don't laugh. Not because you believe it. Just because it's nice. The sun burns the frost away by mid-afternoon. Historians still argue whether stories kept people warm. You think they helped. Evening glows gold. You sit quiet. Let it hold you. You sleep well. No dreams. Just rest. You wake slowly. Let the morning arrive without hurry. There's no fire yet. No noisy. Just light. You sit up. Stretch. Let your bones creak like floorboards. The village is quiet. Calm. Like it's holding its breath. You help fix a door. Sweep a path. Gather eggs. Lunch is soft. Warm. Someone added herbs. You smile. You spend the afternoon by the river. Watching water move. You think about time. About how much and how little things change. Historians still argue about everything. You're done arguing. The sun sinks slowly. Shadows stretch. You head home. Light a candle. Share a bowl of stew. You say goodnight with a glance. That's enough. You lie down. Let the weight leave your shoulders. Sleep comes. Quiet and kind. Wind down. The fire burns low. The room hums with quiet breath. Outside. Wind brushes the roof like a lullaby. Inside. You settle deeper into your blanket. Your thoughts drift. Like leaves on a slow river. Each one soft. Each one fading. The village is still. The air is gentle. And the night holds you. Tomorrow may come with work. Or cold. Or nothing. But not yet. For now. There is rest. There is quiet, there is peace. Good night.